Hello. So we'll start by looking at the Excel interface because I feel it's like sometimes something that's missed in other Excel tutorials. And I know for some it might be very familiar, for others it's a brand new start. So let's just highlight some of the features of the Excel interface. At the top, we got our ribbon, which breaks down a lot of the functionality that Excel contains. So if we click through the different tabs of the ribbon, I'll just try to highlight the specific ones that are more utilized in the healthcare analytics space. So in the insert, you've got your charts, your pivot tables that are heavily utilized. You got a new connection into Microsoft Forms, which is really, really good. And then you got other aspects like headers and text box that can be utilized to make your workbook more presentable. In the home sections, you got all your font features, merge and center that you can merge multiple columns together. Conditional formatting, which is something we're going to cover throughout this module, that allows you to identify critical values. You also got the sort and filter. You can't live without sort and filter, which allows you to scale largest to smallest or based on the text type, as well as filtering the specific tables. And then you got the new feature of Copilot. I feel like with Copilot, you have to be quite well versed in terms of prompting it to provide the right sort of information feedback, but also does give you suggestion based on the data that is currently within the tables. And then the other tab, you got the page layout, which allows you to create a much more thematic and nice looking dashboard or table if you so wish, especially if you're going to use this as your go-to tool. You got the formulas, which you can use the function library to highlight the different formulas and functions that you can use within Excel. The Python is a new sort of tab function, which is really, really good. So it can implement some of maybe your machine learning or the other aspects of Python, even visualization as well, right onto your Excel, which is awesome. You got some of the formula auditing as well, which is good if you're trying to debug what the issue is. In the data, we predominantly use the get and transform data. It's probably really good to mention at this point the utilization of Power Query for larger data set. That just lets you to connect to different workbooks, connect to different databases, even SQL, and to carry out all the transformation before you load it onto the actual Excel sheet. So that can be a really powerful tool, especially when you're dealing with larger data sets. The data and tools is probably the other section that we use quite a lot, which one of them is to remove duplicates, an element that we'll cover in our data cleaning, and the utilization of data validation that allows you just to specify a range of numbers that you want your user to use or text or a specific date as well. In the view, you can freeze the panes, which is really important, and we'll cover in a different section as well. Automate gives you some of the office scripts that you can apply, and also you can modify any of these, but it just allows you to use the Excel more as a tool and unhide and then do all sort of different things to it. It can even record your actions as you do something and then create the script for you to rerun at any point. Now, the developers tab used to be the tab that all advanced Excel users utilize all the time, simply because it allowed you to create VBA codes that you can do what the scripts do, but even more functionality. Actually, I knew of individuals that were using VBA to even edit their folder structures within their own desktop. So if you were a massive VBA macro person, this is where you lived in this specific developers tab and predominantly within that specific space. However, there's probably some newer and more modern and applicable tools that you can utilize to do a lot of what the VBA macros did, but it's still relevant and I still see it in some of the sheets. So that's the main ribbon. Just below it, you've got the formula bar where you can see the values of any of the things that you click on within your worksheet, as well as the formulas that are hidden behind the specific results as well. Here you got the name box as well. Sometimes gets missed in a lot of Excel sheets I see, but it can be really good in terms of creating a naming convention and structure for the different tables within your Excel workbook. So that's really important to highlight. At the bottom, you got your tabs, your worksheet tabs. So the whole thing, the whole Excel sort of file is called a workbook, and these are all called worksheets. So it lets you create different navigation, and you can put your charts onto the worksheet. You can hide them, unhide them, and do all the different things to just separate out the work. And then finally at the bottom, we got our status bar. So the status bar is getting when you start to highlight information, you can have a quick count, a quick summary of how many you highlighted. If it's a specific numerical field, you can even have an average and other summarizations. So just a quick overview of what you highlighted. So that is predominantly our Excel interface.